All right, we are back. It's basically Monday. It's been like several Mondays since we've done this, but we're here. So I am the host tonight, John, and I'm here with the boys. How are you all doing tonight?
Pretty good. Yeah,
Yeah.
nothing crazy.
Anything going on with you all that you want to share with the people, with folks about your lives? Anything new?
Um, lately I've been really wondering what's going on with you, John. So I'd love to hear what's been going on with your life.
I'm pretty sure I asked the question. What the fuck? What
Yeah, that's
happened?
what's been going on in my life.
Your
I've
life's
just been
been
like really wondering what's how's John, what's he doing? What's going on? So I'd
Now
like to
I'm
know.
interested.
okay. Uh, yeah. Okay. We'll get to that. Uh, anything else that you've been wondering, or anything else been going on with you?
Oh, okay.
He's like, we'll get
I
to
mean,
that.
yeah, I mean, not really. Like, I only have you guys as friends, really.
okay. It's fine if the answer is no. You just want to know what's going on. It's fine. I just prefer to go last if that's okay.
I bought a scooter.
Oh,
A scooter. Okay.
that's a big deal.
Scoot.
It
I
has,
guess when was the last time we recorded this? I can't even what was the
honestly,
last thing that we
might have
mentioned?
been
Maybe
like
3 weeks
3 weeks
ago.
ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I bought a scooter and it's an electric scooter and I take it on the trail and ride it downtown. And I actually like do that quite a bit. Like,
What's
it's
the
pretty fun.
what's the trail?
The trail. There's like a trail that like for biking or walking that goes like up and down the lakefront over here and it goes all the way downtown. So yeah, it's like super nice. But yeah, that's so I spend more time outside now because of that.
Okay.
Do you feel like those times that you've been outside, now that you have a scooter, are you doing things with the scooter that you would have done with a car, or are they still two dose totally separate modes of transportation?
Yeah, totally separate. Like, yeah, I can't take a car on the trail and like see all those like super nice views and stuff. Um, and then there's this like bar slash restaurant right on the trail as well that technically you can take a car to get to, but like it's funner to take a non-conventional mode of transportation, at least in the summer. But I mean, that's pretty much it. I don't stop a ton of places. I guess I have gone out to eat like with the scooter and just like lock it up outside. And I probably wouldn't have done that because like I only went out just so I can like scoot and then like I was hungry, so then I stopped and got somewhere to eat. So yeah, like
So
I do more now.
if it costs you like the exact same to own and operate, but it ran on diesel instead, would that make any difference to you?
The scooter
Mm.
ran on diesel. I mean, is it gonna be like the first and only thing that really like makes me concerned is like how loud it would be. Like is it still like silent like the electric ones or
Yeah, it's still quiet.
okay, then no, I wouldn't care.
Okay.
Like is there gonna be like a huge puff of black smoke every time I like put the throttle down?
I mean, if you haven't booted it up in a while, yeah, that'll happen. So like you'll have to like start it in your garage
That's
just to like make
hilarious.
sure.
I mean, besides like the noise, and also it's illegal to have like that kind of a motor vehicle on the trail. Besides those two things, if it was exactly the same, no, I wouldn't care.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if they're gonna end up changing that. Cause yeah, right now, like you said, there is that caveat. It's not a combustion engine, so it's like technically okay. But
Mm,
yeah, I've been on your scooter. It goes 35 miles an hour, and it's not like that's not a safe or even like that's nothing. There's nothing pedestrian about it.
no,
So,
there's nothing pedestrian about going
yeah, I'm
35.
wondering when those laws are gonna catch up.
Yeah, that'll
Like,
be
what do you?
interesting.
Because there's motors on it, right?
Yeah, it has two motors on each wheel, separate motors.
Yeah. So just because the motor isn't exploding some liquid, now it's like, oh, okay,
Yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah.
safe.
It's not a combustion engine, so it's allowed. Yeah.
I wonder how they get to those decisions for what is and isn't admissible on a trail.
I think something bad has to happen first,
Yeah,
and
that's what
then
I'm guessing. Like someone's probably gonna like take their scooter and go like 65 on a trail and just completely like take someone's head off or something.
mhm.
And then they'll be like, okay, let's make it illegal.
Like if a like a chipmunk or a squirrel cross your path and you hit it, do you believe it would be like dead?
Oh yeah. I mean, even if I was going like 1 mile an hour, it would be dead. It's just yeah, yeah.
1 mile an hour, really? I'm pretty sure you can like kick a squirrel and it will still like be alive.
But like I'm like running it over with my scooter. It's too small. Like its bones would just get crushed. Like that's without the speed. With the speed added, it's done. Yeah.
Well, he just said hit it. He didn't say like
Yeah.
flatten it.
Hit it. So like let's just say it just like jumped in front of me like in the air so I didn't have to like run it over, but it like actually hit it.
Yeah.
hmm
Okay, in that case, like I probably would only kill it if I was going like 20 or over.
But you could kill it.
Yeah, yeah. I think I was if I was going 30, that thing would be dead, yeah. Or like mortally wounded.
So let's say you're going 35 down the trail, and all of a sudden, like a young, naive, not yet ready for the world sparrow just like dips down right in front of your face. Are you both dead, or just the bird? Like, can you protect yourself from something like that?
I
Or
haven't
wait, so I remember you said you wear goggles at least, so like a pebble can't like take your eye out or anything like that.
yeah. And like most of the time I wear a helmet. Sometimes I don't, but like most of the time I do. So at least like there's that. But like if I fall, I'm gonna break all my limbs at least. Like
If you were going top speed and like just like a random little branch, like kind of like whipped your arm as you were going by, is that a bit? Is that like a problem?
At 35?
mm,
You said top speed is
Yeah.
35, right?
I mean that would
hmm
hurt.
I think you
And it
could.
like might cut me, but like I don't think it would like make me fall or anything.
I think you could fall
Okay.
at 35 miles an hour and not break bones.
Dude.
Yeah, it might be possible. Like if I
I
like
mean,
rolled.
you'd have some
Mm.
road rash for sure, but you could survive without damaging yourself too bad.
35?
Yeah.
Like
I think the
maybe.
fact
It's
that
possible,
Most
sure.
people I think at like top speed could maybe run between 15 and 20.
mm,
Like the fastest person ever, so like Usain Bolt, he could run 30. But like that's at his absolute top speed. And I can't imagine now obviously he's a different freak of a person, but like if he fell while he was running top speed, I don't think he'd break anything. He'd just be bruised up a little bit. So like I don't know, if you fall, if you roll, I think you'd be all right.
I guess it depends on the person. Yeah, if I'm like skinny and athletic and agile, then like yeah, I could probably like get out of
Yeah.
it.
You'd
But if
definitely
you're
be
like
hurt.
heavy and not agile, you would
Well,
collapse instantly. Like
hmm
yeah.
everything's breaking.
Yeah, you probably should not be on
I
the
just feel
scooter
like
at 35 miles an hour
no,
then.
you shouldn't. If you stood on this thing, yeah, you would understand that it's not safe.
Yeah, it's not. Like it feels like yeah, your life is in peril. Like and any the slightest mistake could end everything.
I think it's just like the very nature of how you're holding your body. Like if you're sprinting and you fall, like you're like your center of balance is at least low enough that you can kind of like tumble like into it, like Blair was saying. But on
Yeah.
a scooter, you're just like standing straight up.
Like, yeah,
You
you're
couldn't
gonna
like
get
you couldn't scoot like in a squat position.
People don't know. They don't.
that'd be
You don't do
interesting.
that.
Is it possible?
Yeah.
Like squat down and you got the handlebars like up here or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like let's say you could see that you were gonna run into something, and you knew that impact was imminent, and you couldn't slow down fast enough. Like, would that be a viable option to try to save your body?
Maybe
Yeah.
because like
Hmm.
your center of gravity would be lower, like we just said. So like you wouldn't have far to fall. Like you would have the speed to deal with, but maybe you can roll that off or something. But you wouldn't
Yeah.
hit the ground as hard.
Yeah. It would
Hmm.
definitely be a better crash for you, rather than just like in the normal scooting position. I think.
Okay.
Interesting.
Hmm. Scoot life.
Scoot life.
Yeah,
Yep.
I've never heard of
Yeah.
such things.
Come into a neighborhood near you, probably in like 2 years, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
All right.
When you
But
see people on s- like methods of solo mobility in your town, John, what's the what's the most common one?
Um,
I'm just gonna guess it's a bike.
I mean, yeah, maybe a bike. I actually don't even see many bikes. Maybe like ATV, like four wheelers, maybe.
Really? Like down the road or the trails?
Both. Because like they have well, they're like I don't know if they're official trails, but like they're trails like right next to the highway because you could just tell that people have been like
Mm.
off-roading there. And then they usually double as some type of snowmobile like course in the winter.
Mm. How does that work? How does an ATV get a pass? Like that's totally a combustion engine, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
I
but
think it
this isn't.
depends on the county.
Yeah, I was gonna say this isn't the city. There's not that those kind of rules here.
Okay, yeah. ATVs, that would be fun.
Yeah,
Yeah, it would be.
yeah. So
Still
I
never
I've
been on
definitely
one.
seen them riding down the street in those, which is kind of weird sometimes, but yeah, that's the country for you. I don't see many bikes. I don't think I've ever seen a scooter. Yeah, that's pretty much
I
it.
definitely I definitely judge a neighborhood by that. How many people I see walking to places.
Hmm.
Interesting.
I see people walking, but I don't see very many people walking to like places that I expect city people to walk in to. Like, I don't see people walk into grocery stores that often. And if they do, like, I know they have a long walk. Like, that's miles that you've committed to.
Like someone might
Usually.
stop and actually ask if they might want to ride just to help them out.
No, no. But we just know that you probably are gonna walk at least a
What if
mile.
it was what if it was a single mom and she was carrying 10 bags and she had like her kid with her?
I just know she's single because she's by herself.
Yeah.
Are you asking me if I would pick her up?
I'm asking, do you think someone in your neighborhood would pick them up? Like, is it that kind of neighborhood where like people are looking out for each other in that type of way?
Um, I don't think so.
Do you guys think anywhere like that even exists anymore?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
And you're allowed to be like a different race?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, hell no.
Because I would like, I mean, I think that there are black communities where that happens and like white communities and Asian communities, but I mean like an actually like mixed.
Yeah, no, I can't imagine
What's
that
the
happening
political
anyway.
word people use for that?
I I think if
Ethnically diverse, I don't know.
I think if someone asks for a ride, it's possible, but I don't think people would like volunteer their car to give people a ride here because most things here, like are pretty close. So if you've committed to walking, it's probably something you've done before. Like I can't imagine in the scenario you gave, like yeah, I guess there could be a single mom that's just walking with her kids, but then yeah, people are like, oh, they probably live close. They're not like, oh, she probably needs a ride. So maybe. I've given people. I probably shouldn't have, but I've given people rides before, or I've given a person a ride before. But back when I used to live in Milwaukee, but I don't
Like,
think
and
I'd
you
ever.
didn't know them at all?
Yeah, yep.
Like, what made you decide to do that? Like, what was the scene?
Um, the so it was back when I was doing. Wait, was that Milwaukee? No, that wasn't Milwaukee because it was when I was doing Postmates. So we lived in Minnesota by then, but it was in the cities. So I was doing Postmates, and I was like picking up this Chipotle order, and this guy was standing on the side of the road, like in where a like in a parking spot, like on like where a car I presume was, and like he was trying to call people, but he couldn't get like you could tell he couldn't get a hold of anyone, and he was like asking anyone to give him a ride, and basically I walked past him and he asked if I would give him a ride to like the tow place because basically his car had gotten towed while he had been inside somewhere else. So I told him like I was like literally in the middle of like a Postmates order, so I told him like if you come with me to the Postmates order, then I'll drop you off after, and he did.
Dang.
Yeah.
Did he have any like what was the story, or was he just kind of quiet because his life
No.
was obviously not?
No, we talked. He told me that he worked like in construction and then like he was basically trying to get his life together and like basically yeah, one thing after another was happening and it was it was tough. So and yeah, we just talked about our lives, our each of our lives, and we exchanged numbers. I never talked to him again after that, but he was nice enough. And I dropped him off and he got his car. So yeah. I don't think I'd ever take that
Man,
chance again, but
that's crazy that like your life is like you're living on so on the line that you could just run in to get something and walk out and now your car's towed. Like people are looking for you like that.
that can happen anywhere though in the cities because if you park in the wrong space, like there are some tow trucks that are literally waiting at spaces that they know are illegal to park in just so they can tow you. Like that
I've
happened
never seen it
that
happen
happened
like
to
that.
Danielle before. Like she actually did Postmates for a very very short period of time and she went in to get an order, she came back and the car was gone.
See, that is just
Oh my
mm-mm.
Yeah. So I had
god,
to come
that's
pick
like
her up.
predatory.
No,
Yeah.
that's wrong.
Yeah, that is wrong.
That's wrong on the city's part or whoever the fuck is like sending them to
Uh,
go.
I don't think it's the city. I think it's the people who own, it's the businesses who own the
Like the property,
spots. Yeah,
right?
because then what happens if you park in their spots for the like people that like their customers, then they lose customers because no one can like come into their store because there's nowhere to park. So like basically they're trying to keep people out of the spots that they specifically pay for their store.
No, that makes zero business sense. Like towing someone is gonna lose me like more customers than that one customer that didn't make it because someone was parked there.
That's
Maybe.
pretty extreme. They towed her when she was in there getting the order.
Like I don't think that business lost any customers from towing Danielle. Like I don't think Danielle went around saying telling people like, man, this business they, I mean maybe she would now, but I don't think she told anyone. So like for them it worked out. Like they got someone out of the spot.
Yeah. To me, I just think long term that doesn't really make business sense. What do you guys think?
Uh,
No, I would never tow. Like, okay, I guess like if like there was like a spot. No, I mean like that's just so petty. I'm just not that kind of a person. I would find some other way to solve the problem. Like,
um, I'm
yeah.
okay. I'm okay with people towing in their lots because I think the problem with people is that if you when you show kindness, a lot of times it just gets taken advantage of. And like the problem in Danielle's case is when you hear Danielle like the story that Danielle got towed in, it's easy to say like, oh, she was just in there for a minute. Why would they tow her? Well, the problem is we don't know how long you're going to be in someplace, and then how long are we supposed to wait and give up the space we're paying the city for, right, to let you sit there? And like, what's a reasonable amount of time? Everyone's going to have a different response to that. Like, is it 5 minutes, 20 minutes? Should I give you an hour? In an hour, if you have a fast food place, you know how much business you could lose from one spot? Like, that's a lot of money. So, and especially in a business where your margins are already thin, yeah, I completely get it. So I'm okay with it because she knew when she parked there that she probably shouldn't have parked there. Like it said it. It said it on the spot. So like you take that risk,
Okay.
you're
Well,
gonna
then if it's
yeah.
actually said it,
Oh
I thought you
yeah.
said I thought it was just like an actual like normal spot, and there
No.
was no size, no nothing.
No. It was for the business.
And this guy that you like came up on,
At least
he
that's my
also parked.
understand. At least that's my
He,
understanding.
okay. Had he also parked at a spot that had that sign that says
I I bel
uh
I believe so. Yes.
violators will be towed or whatever?
Yeah, I believe so.
I mean,
Oh,
that's just
okay.
that
Oh,
is
dang. All
so
right. Bad
risky.
luck.
Yeah.
Hey, man.
It is what
Can't
it
argue with a sign. I love a good sign.
it is what it is. We warned you.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
and then like people like me who would like go to businesses like there's this pizza place that had a specific lot just for picking up, like they had a lot for just their customers, and then they had specific spots for people just picking up stuff from their store, like you're just going in
Mm.
and out. Like basically it would make it impossible to get your delivery orders out if everyone else gets to park in those spots. Like how do those people, and especially in a city, like there's nowhere else to park, you're just fucked. So yeah, I get it.
That's why I like to see people like walking around. Like I know it's like at least possible.
Possible to get places on foot.
Yeah.
Yeah, proximity I would say is a good measure of like how well uh, an area is doing, like how much you can get to within let's say a mile. Because I feel like a half mile, like if you live in a residential area, is kind of hard. Like it might take you a half mile just to walk out of the residential area.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Like
So yeah,
how far is too far? Like if you got on the phone with your grandmother and she was like, "Oh yeah, I just ran out to get some groceries," and she was like, "Oh, the walk was kind of hard." At like what distance would you be like, "What the fuck are you doing, grandma?"
Yeah, I would say anything over a mile. Like under a mile is like I guess like how old is grandma? But like yeah, at almost any age, anything over a mile, I'd be like, what are you
wow. Yeah, you could.
Any age?
Yeah, you.
No, come on, man.
Yeah, you really don't like to walk, do you?
doing? No.
I think every adult should be able to walk at least 10 miles.
Yeah, I mean, just because they can doesn't mean you should.
I think you should be able to, like, I think you should be ready to do that, like, at any moment of the day.
I mean, honestly, that's fair. 10
Uh,
miles? That's
10.
kind of a lot, though.
Yeah, I'd say 5. I'd say 5 is reasonable. Because I know, because Danielle and I go for walks, and so Danielle walks all the time. Danielle walks probably 4 miles a day. And I think that's a lot of walking. And I walk probably, like in steps, probably closer to 2 miles. But I can't, like the times I've gone on walks with her, and we walk 2.5 miles at a time, that's a lot of walking. So I don't know if I could walk 10 miles straight, and I feel like I'm in decent shape right now. So yeah, reasonably, I think I could walk 5 miles. I would probably be tired after that, but yeah, 5 miles I think is a decent amount. My
Are
grandmother, I would say maybe like 2.
are they tough walks? Like, are you hiking or are you just like taking a stroll?
So we have hiked in the past when it's not like super buggy, or if like it's winter, we hike. And then like in summer we walk around the neighborhood, but we're walking at a decent pace. So like we're not strolling by any means, I would say.
But you're on like even pavement, like elevation isn't like doing
E-
anything crazy, anything like that.
no, nothing like that.
Okay.
Very gradual, if any.
Yeah, so you should be, yeah, you'd be able to do that easy. 10 miles, that's nothing.
Nah, not in the heat.
But you could do it. You'd be uncomfortable. You could, but you could make it.
Sure, I could make it. I don't think the average adult could make it.
Yeah, you know he can't say it's possible if it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I could make it.
There's plenty of situations where I could think of where it might make sense that you just need to walk 10 miles.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
That
Like, what
I
if your car just breaks?
Or you got towed, like that bullshit like that, and maybe you don't have your phone on you, and people,
Damn.
you're not in a nice neighborhood, and not like safe nice, but like friendly nice, and no one wants to help you out like you did for that guy. So now you gotta walk home.
Uh, yeah, see, maybe that's I can imagine that's true for somebody. I can't imagine that ever being true for me. The scenario you laid out, all those things cannot all happen at the same time.
That seems, I don't know, that seems pretty plausible here in the city, but
Yeah, and like,
Yeah, there
yeah,
is
in
no
anywhere that
situation.
would
Yeah, there's no
fuck.
situation where my car breaks down and I don't have my phone and I
Mm.
can't contact anyone. That doesn't exist. I
I
would
agree,
always be
it's
able
very
to contact
unlikely.
someone.
But I still think it's important that you should be able to get somewhere by your own power.
And I don't even know if 10 miles would do me any good. Like, I might have to walk further than that. If I was really out of town, like, 10 miles would only get me halfway, if that.
Damn,
I feel like by 10
that's
miles you could get
devastating.
somewhere that they like have to help you, like a police station or something like that.
Do
You
you?
have to go to the
So
police
you've
station
you've
because you
been
got lost.
you've been to where I live before, right? And you know the drive
Hmm.
from where like you actually get there to my house. That's 30 minutes of driving,
Hmm. Yeah.
which
It's
is
it's like a highway the whole way.
right. So like let's just say we got stuck right in the middle of that. I have to assume there's at least 30 to 40 miles in between that stop and my house. 10 miles I would get us close, but I don't think it would get us to a station. We might be fucked.
You pass one of those gas stations though, and I think you're in a place where they would like at least let you call
Oh,
someone.
yeah, you're right. There is a
Yeah, do you
town in
know
between.
anyone's phone? Like, there are people who don't have any phone numbers memorized.
I have one phone number memorized.
So in that case, like, what would they do? They just be fucked. Like,
I feel like if they let you use like their whatever office or like whatever landline that they have, that person would probably like just let you use their smartphone as long as they're like watching you, like whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
that's kind of
then,
creepy. I wouldn't like if some guy was like, "Can I use your phone?" I'm like, "No, are you fucking kidding? Are you out of your mind?" Like,
And
it's
hell
happened
no.
to me before. It was a while ago, like
yeah,
4 years ago.
and in small
But
towns, I feel like they're more likely to let you do that because they know people like could have troubles like in there. Because like no one ever just hangs out in small towns unless they know people in the small town or they're in some type of trouble usually.
mm,
Oh, you ain't from around here. Looks like you're into a little bit of trouble.
it's like, well, yeah. Now that you said that, it seems that I am.
Yeah, yeah. Now, like literally, just because you said that, I am now. Uh,
Yeah, but I think you're right. I think most people probably would. If you got to a small town, you'd find someone who would help.
looking for a bit of trouble.
What do you think, Bloro?
About what exactly?
Like if you were somehow stranded without your phone, somewhere around where you live, do you think within a 10-mile walk you could find assistance?
Like, just to use like a phone to make a phone call, or
Yeah,
to
like
like,
something. Yeah.
yeah, I feel like, hmm, yeah, I feel like I could probably get into a gas station and ask someone to like use the phone, and like they can even hold it and put it on speaker while I like and dial the number for me, like, but like,
And do you think the people around where you live are like that kind of like good Samaritan still.
Yeah, yeah. I would expect that, like, obviously if I'm just like in my neighborhood, I would just walk home, like it'd be easy. But if like I wasn't from here, if I didn't have a home here, I feel like yeah, like if yeah, I feel like if as long as you weren't being like rude and like the gas station wasn't like super busy, so like you were like interrupting like the workflow. But like if it was just like a gas station, you just like walked in and like there's no one in there, like hey, like yeah, no, I could yeah, someone would let me use their phone, I'm sure. Like maybe not the first one. Like I feel like it's not a guarantee on like every gas station, but I bet like after like two, three max, I would get someone who would let me use their phone. Not yeah, not like I don't know if I'd be able to get someone to hand me their phone and let me surf the web on it. Like that's that's a whole other thing. I feel like maybe I would be able to, but I would get someone to like let me do a speakerphone call.
I don't know if that's happened to me yet. Someone asking to use my phone.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
feel like that's just crazy. That's just something you never do.
it has
Like,
happened in a
yeah,
really
just
long
like you
time.
said, like you'll walk past a million people, but like I would never ask any of those single people to like use their phone. Like, I would have to go into a business that I would hope has a landline, and if they don't, there's still at least like a business. So like, I would maybe like ask them or something. But yeah, like I just feel like it's like not okay to like ask someone to just use their phone.
To just ask someone for help. We can't do that anymore.
You can't ask them to use their phone. You can ask for help. Probably won't work still, but like that's more acceptable than to ask to use someone's phone.
I don't know. I feel like that's asking for small like potatoes. Like, how small does it have to be before it's like, okay, yeah, I'm willing to help. Just be like, can you hold this door? And it's like, all right, I guess I'll do that.
But will you hand someone your phone? I feel like your phone is like your life. Like they could just run away.
Okay,
Like
so
if it
let me.
was an old person that I knew I could outrun, then I would
Hmm.
feel much better. Like, okay, yeah, Gramps, where are you gonna go with my phone? Or what are you even gonna do with it? Sure, like you can try and use my phone. Like but if it was like some like kid, like some young kid, and if it was a dude kid too, like they're even dumber than like the girl ones. So it's just like, no, man.
You don't think you
No.
could catch a kid if he ran away with your phone?
I mean like a 19-year-old or something like that.
You don't think you could
Like
catch a 19-year-old if he ran away with your phone?
no, if
I
it
don't
was
even know
me
if
at
I would want to.
19, I'm assuming I was faster at 19 than I am now.
Oh. See, I
But
assumed I
I
could catch all
also
those
am
people.
faster than most people, that is, which is true. But
Yeah.
also, like, do I want to start chasing someone down for my phone? Like, what if they pull a weapon on me? It's just like, no, like, don't touch my phone. Like,
A
how
weapon?
about that?
A
How about
weapon on you? So wait, in this scenario, someone asked you for your phone, got your phone, and then pulled the weapon on you afterwards. They're like,
well, like,
haha,
you're not gonna
got
do
you.
that until I chase them down and like obviously show that I'm not gonna let them just walk away with my phone for free. But people will totally try and do that. It's like, okay, you gave me your phone. It's like straight up walk away or like run away. It's like now I have to fight this person for my phone essentially. Like, god damn it. It's like, yeah. So like, no, you just don't ask for someone's phone to hold it. That's too much.
Yeah,
You
it
can
might just
ask.
be the place that you live. I mean, if I was in Chicago, maybe I would feel that way. But even in Chicago, I can remember distinctly there being times where I asked to use someone's phone, and I've been asked to use my phone. And in both times, I've gotten the phone and gave my phone, but like I also was in like a place. I was like in a McDonald's or something like that, like a place where you couldn't easily get away from. So maybe that had something to do with it. But here, if anyone asked me for my phone here to like make a call, I'd be like, all right, fine. Like, and if you really want my phone that badly, and if you're really faster than me, I might make an effort to chase you. But if I realize you're fast, you can have it. Like if things are really that bad, Fuck. You clearly need the phone more than I do. So, shit.
Like, technically, if you chase after someone who has your phone, they can now murder you. Like, it's weird, but that is kind of
in
how it happens
in Wisconsin?
in the United States. Like, that's like because you confronted them, they could say they were scared for their life. And now that they're scared for their
Uh,
life because you came after them, they have full right to end yours. Like,
I
it's
don't
just completely legal.
I don't know if
Like,
that's true in every state.
that's the George that was the George Zimmerman case. Like like he started a fight with the kid and he felt that the kid was starting to win that fight, so he was legally allowed to pull out his gun and end his life right there. Like he started the fight, he was the aggressor. It makes no sense, but yeah, that is the American law. It was a huge trial. Like I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure it went to the highest court, and that's what our court has decided.
but isn't that like aren't the rules of that trial based on where it happened?
No, I think that's like a federal law. There might be like state laws saying you can't have a weapon within these limits, and then like just for having the weapon, like you would be like you're screwed. But like if it's just like a normal open area without any like specific rules against not having weapons in that area, then yeah, you can do that.
I would have to look that up. I'm not sure if that's how that works, but okay,
Yeah,
that's interesting.
that's I know, dude. Like you would think that's not true. Like, no way, but that is somehow the case. I don't know why that's the case either. I don't make any sense of it, but that is the current law in America, which is ridiculous. Yeah, man, I could just go in on all the craziness because like that was like the beginning of it all. I feel like that was like back in we were like college almost, maybe like right out of college. Trayvon Martin and George Zimmerman,
Well,
and
that's when
like
Obama was still in office, so
yeah, that's right. So like things were like starting to get polarized. Like there was like a huge group of Americans who were like, yeah, like that guy was in the right and he should have been able to like kill him. And then there's obviously like another huge group of Americans who are like, no, that's wrong. Like that, like how is that justified? But at the end of the day, they deemed that he was okay to do it, and now he has become like a far right political figure. Like he gives speeches at like conventions to this day because he killed that kid, and like they see him as like a hero because like they see him being victimized by the left for trying to defend himself, even though he was the one that started the fight.
so let me get this straight. The law of the land is you can do whatever it takes to win a fight once you start losing.
Yeah, like the real law is if you're afraid for your life, you can kill someone. And that's also the same law that cops use to get off from killing people time and time again. Like you have to like really prove that you weren't just afraid for your life, which is like almost impossible. Like feeling afraid is a feeling. Like I could just say I feel afraid right now for my life and just no one could ever prove that I was or wasn't. Like so like it is possible to prove it. Like maybe if the whole thing was on video and you see the guy bragging about how they're not afraid, and then suddenly like they kill him and try to say they were afraid, then like okay, that guy wasn't afraid for his life. The jury would probably say no, that guy's guilty. But right now, if you're afraid for your life, you can kill whoever is making you feel that way in the heat of the moment. It has to be a heat of the moment thing. You can't just feel like,
That's
what,
crazy.
I'm afraid. I'm gonna go kill this person, and then I won't be afraid anymore. That
Could you
doesn't count.
could you imagine someone having such low judgment that like they have a like body cam on them and they're like, I'm not afraid of you. Pa, 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 pa. Like, why would you why would you say something like that?
Yeah, like you want to go to jail, like.
Yeah, what a joke.
That's hilarious.
But yeah,
But
that's kind
yeah,
of crazy because if you approach someone and you have a weapon, of course that person's gonna now feel afraid for their life. So they're gonna like act
they're-
or fight in a way to protect their life. So now like you're both fighting for your lives. So like yeah, now of course now you can kill him.
yep. And now you
Or
both have the right to kill each other, like essentially. But he had the gun. Yeah, it's yeah, yep.
I
That's
think it
exactly what it is.
I think it probably depends too on your past experience with, well, specifically talking about police. Like it probably depends on your past experience with police, because I've been pulled over. I mean, I wouldn't say a bunch of times. It's probably very rarely these days, but I've been pulled over, and never when I've been pulled over has the mere presence of someone with a gun made me afraid. Like I've not been like, oh, well, this person has a gun. I could die tonight. Like that's not my thought. So if that's your thought, you probably have some bad prior experiences with police, which would make sense why you would think that. That makes complete and total sense. So yeah, but like I don't know that
Oh,
it
and that also doesn't apply with police. Like if you're fighting a cop and you're afraid for your life, you will go to jail instantly for the rest of your life if you kill that cop. It doesn't matter how afraid you are. Like that doesn't count. Like and there's also been tons of trials that like prove it that like you will go to jail. So that doesn't apply to cops. A cop can kill you. They're good if they're afraid, but you can't ever kill a cop basically under any circumstance ever.
Yeah, I mean that goes for not just cops. Apparently that like all most federal like public servant like
Yeah.
public facing public like if you go kill a mailman, you'll have like pretty steep repercussions as opposed to like killing a civilian. I heard there was someone
Well,
who
if
like
that mailman
attacked a mail.
started a fight with you, though, you can kill him. And that's different from a
Uh,
cop. Because if a cop
maybe.
starts a fight with you can't kill him. It doesn't matter what he's doing. You can't kill him. But if a mailman does, I don't think like they have any special protections or anything. They have extra protections
No,
because
they.
they're a federal worker
Yeah,
and like
right.
there's
Yeah,
things that will happen to you because of that. But
yeah,
as far as like just the right to defend yourself, like it's something in particular with law enforcement that you don't have a right to defend yourself. Like you can't do that. And like it kind of makes sense because like how are they supposed to arrest you? You can be like, no, I'm not gonna let you arrest me because I'm defending myself. So like they kind of
yeah,
have to make it so you can't
yeah,
defend yourself.
yeah,
But it's also kind of like a little double sided too because that just makes it so they can do anything. You
yeah.
can't do anything except for die
But
if you run into a bad one.
that's kind of like in society, like to have a somewhat civil society, the price you kind of have to pay. Like you can't have protection and freedom at the same time. Like it's kind of impossible to do both. So like
Right.
because if everyone could just fight police if they felt threatened, then like you said, every person they ever had needed to arrest, they could just be like, I'm threatened, and they just be like, pop, 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 pop.
Just pull out a gun and just
Yeah,
execute the cop right there.
yeah,
I'm
like
threatened. Afraid for my life. You're dead.
yeah,
Okay, I'm
yeah.
good.
So yeah, that does make sense. Within that, also obviously places more onus on the everyday civilian to be like, all right, I have to even if I'm being treated wrongfully, I probably need to follow directives so that I can get out of the situation first, and then like figure out if I have any recourse. And yeah, that's yeah. I would not want to be in a situation like that, but I completely understand why it exists because I would prefer if I have to pick one, I would think I would prefer this version than a version where everyone could just or like just full on martial law where it's just like, all right, I don't care who's got the gun because I got one too, and then you just
yeah.
like go crazy. Yeah, so that would be wild.
It's kind of wild. It seems like the more respect that you have for yourself, the more likely it is you're gonna die.
Right, right.
I think it
That
depends on
respect
how
will
you
get you killed.
I think
Yes.
it depends on how you define respect. Like I have enough
I'm
respect.
saying, yeah, for
Yeah.
me, like it doesn't make sense. Like I'm gonna do whatever the fuck, like you said, to get out
Yeah.
of the situation, and I'll come
Yeah.
back and deal with it later. But I feel like
Right.
the people
Yeah.
that end up getting shot, it's like they will not allow any human being to talk to them in a way that makes them feel like they
Yeah.
are less than. It doesn't matter like what uniform or whatever they're holding,
Yeah,
and like the
that's
second
called
it
street
happens.
respect.
Right. So,
Respect.
but that seems a little wild to me. It's like, so there's things that someone could say to you that means like now their life has to end just because they said it. Like that's a little crazy.
Yeah, I feel like that goes too far, honestly. Like
Yeah.
that kind of respect will get you killed,
Yeah.
essentially, or get you in a situation where someone
Like
will like
yeah, like
get
how can
killed.
your ego be? I don't know. I just don't get
Because
it.
like there's no de-escalation. You have no limit. Under no circumstance will you let anyone disrespect you, no matter what. So like then you get into these situations like, okay, yeah, what if a cop arrests you, or like what if something else happens? So like now like under any circumstance they can't do it, but like now if you escalate the situation, you're gonna be fighting for your life now. Like that is the only next level to this escalation, and like ultimately that happens constantly. Like it's like, what'd you say to me? What'd you say to me? What'd you say to me? And then you pull
Yeah.
out a gun, then he
What?
pulls out a gun, and now
Wait.
you can't back down. Like now you're in a gunfight. Like I don't doesn't matter like what what anyone said to anyone. It could have been a complete mistake, but like
Yeah. That's
It just doesn't
like
make sense because it's like, who else is there? It's just you and this other person in that interaction. It's not like you're gonna go home and be like, guys, I got
it's
disrespected today.
it's for this. No, that's
and
exactly
you
what
didn't
it
even have to
is.
tell anyone.
It's the
Yeah, you
story,
have to tell anyone about it.
but they definitely do. Like I've seen so many. It's actually wild that you said that because I've heard so many like I quit my job or I got fired stories primarily from black people, unfortunately, and that's the exact premise of the entire thing. I
Yeah, they
wanted like
got
I
disrespected.
acted a certain way. They told me to not to do those things. They gave me several warnings, and then I said, "Fuck that! You're not gonna disrespect me," and they let me go. And then I'm just like, she's like, oh, okay, well, fuck it. Guess we didn't really want that job. Shit. And like some of these people, like they were working at serious places. Like this woman was working at like a Mercedes dealership. And I'm like, what do you think happens at a Mercedes? Like these people, like I'm not saying Mercedes is like the top of the line car. Like it's probably it's higher than a mid-range car, right? Like it's not just an average car. So like yeah, they're probably gonna expect you to act a little bit better than like the Honda dealership. And even honestly, at the Honda dealership, they're all pretty professional too. I'll be honest. So like, yeah, what were you expecting to happen there? Like, I don't know. But yeah, that it really is. A lot of it is ego in the street. And you said like no one has to know. You don't have to tell the story, but they do. That a lot of the pride is wrapped up in the story.
But that's it. It does help though. If you're gonna arrest someone that has that mentality, it does help immensely to arrest them not in front of their friends, especially. Like I remember like
Hmm.
hearing about like when the police were battling like mobsters and whatnot. Like they would
Mhm.
purposely like not arrest uh the mobsters sometimes like in front of like all their friends and family because like that alone could start like more tension between like the police and just like more like hatred between the two sides. So sometimes they do actually for that exact reason choose to like arrest them and like they wait till they're like alone and say, "Hey man, yeah, you're surrounded. Like we got you. Like just like let's go." And like you don't have to embarrass yourself or anything. And like that does help sometimes. Not every time, but like sometimes that does help. Because yeah, if you get thrown down to the ground and like arrested in front of like your people as like a criminal like that, like you
They're gonna-
almost like the decision is like not up to you almost anymore. Like you have to fight like now. Like
the
otherwise like you're
the
gonna
they're gonna
decision's not up
continue
to
to just like
the decision's not up to you. It's
suffocate this
crazy.
dude.
The decision's
like the
not up to
decision
you.
is up to you, but if you want to hold your status amongst those people that you just got arrested or are about to get arrested in front of, like yeah, there's depending on how like yeah, there's definitely some repercussions that would have to go with that.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate.
Or not have to, but like yeah, it's just you're pushing it toward that.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate. That
Just
respect.
have less respect for yourself, man. It's
Or just, actual respect for yourself.
I
But
don't know. It's
just a
weird.
just a little. Yeah, I don't know. It's strange. I can understand if you're like a teenager or someone impressionable. I guess maybe those people never grow out of their impressionable states, but like I can understand if you're in that situation where you don't have someone to take care of. I have a hard time understanding it, a very hard time understanding it once you have like family or like children. I
Yeah,
can't
it
imagine
is.
going to prison on respect. Respect.
And now you can't see your kids
Yeah,
or like
I
see them
don't get
grow
it.
up or anything, and now they don't have a dad. Yeah, it makes no sense. It's grossly irresponsible, honestly.
Yeah.
But like,
Yeah, it's insane. And then like that's what is told about your father when you grow up. Like your daddy stood on business. Like motherfucker's in prison. Like what?
yeah,
Yeah, what a
Yeah, but he
crazy
still
life.
runs the street, bro.
still
Yeah.
runs the street. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's also why I don't like bring my gun anywhere. Like, if someone like robbed me, like I'm not gonna pull out my gun and be like, no one's gonna rob me, bitch. Like, no, you can just like take it. It's fine. Like,
You
I'll
can
find you
take
like
it.
later. Like, hopefully you get arrested. But like,
Yeah,
I'm not gonna
see.
like escalate that situation to
Yes.
where like
You
one of
mean
us has to die now. Like,
oh, you said if you brought your gun somewhere. Okay. Like if someone tried to come in and steal your gun, then you'd probably I'm assuming you'd probably have a different answer.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, if they're coming in my house, yeah, you're getting bullets. Like
Okay.
that's what's happening.
You
But
kidding
like,
though? Boop, 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 boop.
So if someone like just walked up to you like kind of unhinged and like you drew your weapon and they like put their hands like over like the front of it and they're like, "Ah,
what
like
the
would you
fuck?
shoot?
Yeah, I would have to shoot. What the fuck? Yeah, hell yeah. That's definitely like I feel like that's within the fear for your life. Like there's a
But
guy,
they have no weapon. All they're doing is just like grasping your gun from the front and just like shaking you back and forth. That's
dude,
it.
if that happened, I would feel confident. Like I would tell the cops happily everything that happened. And like, yep, the second that guy touched my gun, I shot him and like he's dead. And like I would tell them that with confidence that I would be
Admissible
sent
in
home
court.
that night to
Yeah,
go
missile.
like home and go to bed because I think the moment someone else touches your gun, like it's like all bets are off. Like either of you can kill each other basically. Like yeah, like it's just self defense at that point. Like you don't know who's gonna end up with the gun, and you don't know when they're gonna whoever gets the gun what they're gonna do with it. So you ultimately just have to do what you have to do, which is killing this person. And like that's just yeah,
That's
that's
so
part of
stupid.
fearing for your life.
Like we should probably get. I mean, whatever. But I mean, it's kind of wild that there's an object in the world that if it's in the room and both of you touch it, there's a chance someone dies.
Like I guess the chance isn't guaranteed, but the legality is all like yeah, no one's gonna
Yeah.
stop you.
Yeah, there's been plenty of times where like I'm sure people were in a room and they like could just be showing each other guns and like yeah, no one dies. But yeah, if someone if you're holding your gun and someone like well that yeah it's weird, but I guess I'm trying to imagine this again. Imagine a fucking scenario where like you're pointing your gun and then someone is like yeah let me get in front of that shit like what are, yeah like
And they're
that's
just like yelling and like what the no, they're dead. Yeah,
yeah.
like that's crazy.
And that's the thing. We can't make laws based on fringe, like on fringe cases, obviously, because that then you just leave everybody else in chaos. Like they just can't defend themselves.
Okay, I got it. You're a business owner and you're making your nightly like drop off of like the money at the bank, and like
Hmm.
these two young street thugs are like getting ready to ambush you, and like one of them comes and like grabs the like envelope from you, starts running away. You pull out your pistol or whatever your weapon, and then the other guy like comes out and he like tries to stop you because he doesn't want you to shoot his friend. He's like, no, no. Like, are you gonna shoot that guy?
Okay, so in that particular situation, you would go to jail because
Yeah.
you
Yep.
pulled out your weapon and you were never in danger to begin with.
Yeah.
Like
Yep.
if they like punched you or something and then took the envelope, that would be different. But if they just snatched the envelope and that was it, you can't pull out your weapon in
Yeah.
that situation.
Yep.
So you would go to jail just for pulling out your weapon. You would go to
Approach with weapons, then now I'm okay.
if they have if they have weapons in their hands or you
Yeah.
see them like
Because now
with
you can assume they
weapons,
mean you harm.
right? And then also like the moment someone turns your back, I've heard that like be used against people many times. Like you can't
Hmm.
shoot someone in the back because that proves that they weren't a threat to you. Like they're clearly running away.
So if you're a robber and you just like come up, snatch it, and then like just like back away like this with your hands up until you get to your getaway vehicle and then you drive away, then like
You can't touch me. That's
yeah.
assault. No,
No,
I'm gonna get you
so
sent to
so
jail.
in that scenario, for sure, if you don't shoot, you couldn't shoot them, but for sure, if that happened, I can definitely come up, punch you in the face, and take my cash back, and,
Yeah,
and be
I
just
think you
fine.
can get away with
Yeah,
assault
yeah, yep,
in that, but not deadly force. Like,
right.
But once
but
I get punched in the face and if I have a weapon, now I can pull it out and shoot you. Because
actually,
I was just backing
technically,
away and you just punched me in the face.
yeah, yeah. I mean, basically, yeah. That's so stupid. I mean,
You
can
know,
you?
this is
You're
gonna
already
happen.
committing a crime, though. I and
This is gonna end up on video. It's gonna be like on X. It's gonna circulate. It's like, can you believe this standoff?
like that's that's pretty funny. Actually, I think technically, so I think it is illegal if you were to go up to that person and punch them in the face to take your stuff. I think technically, if they were really like, if they wanted like to spend enough time and effort, they could get it like taken to court or trial or something because that is illegal. You can't like the moment it changes hands, now they have possession of it. You can't go get it back. Like is any
No,
DA
that
or
doesn't make
judge
that doesn't make any
really gonna
sense.
like take this to trial? No, not really. Like
What you just said
especially if
makes no
like the
sense
moment
though.
they snatch it and you punch them like
They committed the crime. So
yeah,
what?
but that doesn't mean like now like violence is just like permitted against them. Like the only jail for their crime, like especially in some states, like stealing something out of someone's hands, like you might the the sentence for that might be like a night
I
in
have to.
prison or something.
I'm wondering what
So
the
like
law is
if
for
they
that.
punch you
Yeah.
in the face and like break your nose forever, or like your jaw never goes back right ever again, or something like that, then like they could definitely sue you in civil court for sure for
Ah.
that. But like ultimately it is illegal. Like you can't retaliate. Like you have to just call the police and let them like arrest them. Or at best arrest them yourself. But that doesn't mean you can punch them. Yeah. Can a cop
Oh
punch
no,
you
this says the
until you
law.
just get knocked out to subdue you?
That's what they try to do. Isn't that why
Probably,
they have those
probably.
clubs?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, sometimes they do that, don't they?
This says the law lets you use force to get. Wait, it says you're justified to use force to recover property immediately after it's stolen. The law lets you use force
Mm.
to get it back in what they're deeming fresh pursuit if they used fraud, force, or threats to take property from you. So, like, yeah, if someone comes up to you, you're holding a bag of money that you're
Use
about to
force? How
deposit.
much force?
Yeah, well, that's a sort of interpretation. Like, I would say force in legal terms would be anything that the other person didn't willfully like agree to. So, like, if like you could even deem force like as digital if you stole the password from me you might not have used physical force but you forced your way into my account like if you just snatch
So
something
what
from my
now you can
hands
hack their account?
you can use force and no no that's not for digital this I think this is just for physical but like it says you could use physical force to get something back that was forced away from you.
It just says physical force.
It just
Okay,
says
so
it just says force actually, so you could probably use multiple types of force.
I'm sure not deadly force though. Like I know that's
No,
not
no, no, not deadly. It doesn't say deadly force. I
like
would
you can't just be
imagine.
like, take this from me, I dare you. Just like
Yeah,
pull out your
yep.
gun. Like the moment you
Yeah,
take this, your life will end. Like
yeah.
that's just so illegal. Like you
It's
But
can't
like,
this,
do
oh no, look at all this money. Oh, I'd be ashamed if someone took it.
that. Just blow someone away and just drop the dollar bill on their
Yeah.
body and be like, yep, they tried to take it.
yeah, you can
Hmm.
use non-deadly force to defend property. So if anyone,
Okay.
yeah, if anyone actually snatches something from you, now the interesting thing is if
So
they,
it's in pursuit. Like it has to be a
yeah,
fresh thing.
yeah, I
You can't
wonder,
investigate and then find them and then
r-
surprise them and use deadly force or not
right,
deadly force, but like any force,
right.
because that's what OJ essentially tried to do.
I wonder what the law would be if you, if someone stole money from you, like right in front of you, right, like the owner depositing cash, which is such a dumb system anyway. But anyway, like yeah, someone steals cash from you. You run up to them, punch them in the head, they fall and just completely destroy the back. Like they fall on their neck and they're dead. I wonder. I wonder if you get like. I'm willing to bet the state does not
Yeah, I think
go
that's
after you
deadly
for
force.
that.
So like, oh, you think you wouldn't get? I guess it
Mm-mm.
depends if you're white or not. But like, no, I'm just kidding.
Okay.
uh, no, I think that's illegal or something because like there's actually a case right now in Milwaukee, and it hasn't even been brought to trial yet, or the guy hasn't been charged. But basically, like there was this guy like creating like some sort of like a major disturbance like at this like public store, and like there was this like security guard. He didn't work at the store. He just is a security guard by profession. So he felt like, hey, I can like help like subdue this guy until someone calls the cops and the cops get here. But while he was subduing him, he died. So like because like that obviously seems to happen so much. But so like
Well, that
he
person
no,
stepped in, right? Like it wasn't. They didn't involve them. Is that what you're
right,
saying?
like he saw that that was happening and like they were bothering people,
Right,
so
but
he
in that case, he did not have the right to retrieve or do anything because it wasn't him that was.
yeah, right. He didn't steal anything. He
But
was
if
just
the
making
per,
like a public
yeah,
disturbance or something.
yeah, yeah. So if it was if someone made like was doing something to me and I decided like it took it from me, like took something from me, then I should be able to use some force to subdue them and take my shit back.
Like, what if they're like 90 years old and like all you do is tap them and they fall down and die?
Yeah. You probably should have thought about that before fucking coming up on me and you're 90. What's wrong with you? Like what?
You're like, get out of my way, old man. Like,
90 years of wisdom and you picked me to fuck with? Like that was a bad choice.
he's like, 90 years is coming to an end today.
Yeah. If a 90-year-old if a 90-year-old if a 90-year-old tries to take my wallet, like anyone, if I think I can get it back without just like hurting myself, yeah, the first thing I'm doing is I'm drop kicking you. I'm taking my shit back.
Like he would die immediately.
Well, not necessarily. I might have some broken bones, but shit,
No, he would
that's
die
the cost of theft.
immediately. Like he would crumble into a puddle of flesh and bone.
No.
Like that's how brittle they are.
Well, in that case, it would take him 7 years to even get to my wallet in the first place. I could just fucking karate chop his arm and it's gonna turn to dust, so it's fine.
That might kill him too. Like,
Yeah. Oh well.
yeah, what if there was someone so fragile, any physical interaction will kill
Then they probably shouldn't be a thief.
them?
What the fuck?
You're like, give me my wallet back. No. Like, well, I'm gonna have to take it back. No. And it's like starting to say, oh.
And then the last thing he sees is just this fucking size 11, just poof. Just
Right in the face. Just like crumbles, like just folds like
Listen,
a folding
yeah,
chair.
I have a lot of sympathy for people, but the moment you like, yeah, the moment you come out of your bubble and infringe on my bubble, that's where my sympathy stops. Like immediately, I got nothing. I got nothing for you. Absolutely nothing. Man, woman, I do not care. If you're not ready to catch these hands, do not come up to me.
Equal
unless
rights,
unless
equal
you
fight.
unless you think you can beat me, and then in that case, you probably will get away with it. Cause like, yeah, I'm just not gonna risk it then. Yeah. But yeah, if a woman like tried to steal my wallet, yeah, I probably like yeah, I'm not gonna let her run away because she's a woman. I'm not gonna punch her. But yeah, I'm for sure wrestling it back from you. Like, there's no way I'm letting you run away with my wallet because you're a girl. No chance.
That's funny.
Especially if you're old. You should know better. How do you get to
The
90
pursuit.
stealing wallets like this? What is going on?
Maybe that was his first time ever. He's like, you know what? I'm gonna try something new today.
Shit. You picked the wrong one. That was a mistake. That was a mistake. I mean, I would hope that 90-year-olds are smart enough to not fuck around like that, but yeah, it's a cold world out there.
Like, what if he was like trying to be sneaky, but then you saw
Okay. Yeah, and then I'd probably just yell at him really loud. He'd be shook by that point. What are you doing, old man?
What if that gave him a heart attack and he died right
You play stupid games, you win stupid prizes.
there? But he'd be alive had you not yelled
He'd be alive had he not tried to take my shit.
at him. That's true.
That's crazy. That's a crazy thing that like we live in a world where someone could actually like break the law and then try to blame you if something happens to them. Like
I
what
know.
what is that? Like
That is
like
wild.
I'm gonna take this fucking money because I need it. Don't touch me though. Like what?
Don't touch me though. That's illegal. I
That
will have
shit's
you sent to
illegal.
jail.
Yeah, there's
It's
nothing
like, yo, I'm
worse.
gonna have you sent to jail.
Yeah, there's nothing
And you're
worse than a
both just calling
smart fucking
911 at each
criminal.
other.
Yeah, nothing worse than a
Like
smart
that's
dumb motherfucker. Smart ass criminals. Think you know the law and shit.
oh my god.
God damn it. Yeah, I mean, I
That's
would I would
hilarious.
not wish that on any old person. I would also not wish any old person be silly enough to steal. So let's all just be smart together and not take each other's stuff. I think that's the lesson.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
But yeah, what a crazy world that we can just take from each other and then file frivolous lawsuits. So frivolous. No wonder our court system is so bogged down with mess. So that's speaking of that was that was something that we watched. So we've been watching all these weird like uh in the action pursuit type shows. So like basically the camera like is following it's a cop camera of like someone on a high speed chase or whatever. And there's one state, I forgot what state it was, but basically this guy was like trying to escape police in a U-Haul, and like he was on the highway, and like all the other pursuits that we watched were like an hour long, 45 minutes long, 2 hours long. This pursuit lasted 26 minutes before the police decided, nah, we're shooting you. Like the cop that's in the car and he's got a cam. He's like, I'm shooting. Like you can hear him saying like on the show, and it was crazy. When Dale and I were sitting there watching, we were like, holy shit, this is wild. And like he shoots. So that's not even the craziest part. He shoots at the U-Haul truck. The U-Haul. So apparently there was the guy who was trying to get away, and there was also a passenger who was getting away with him. They get this truck to slow down after they shoot at him. The passengers they got all the guns on them after on the guys. They're like, get out of the car, get out of the car. As the passenger's getting out, he says, "You guys shot him. He can't get out." And so they pull him out, and apparently the cop who shot him in his spine. He paralyzed him.
Oh.
So what's crazy was even wilder is in that state, the judges were like, "Yep, lawful act." Should have been
Damn.
fucking up. And I was like, oh, I
That's
was
Damn.
wild.
like, yeah, I was like, okay. They deemed it. They were like, yeah, that was perfectly within your rights to take the car, because like you're driving a U-Haul down the freeway, like at 90 miles an hour. Like, yeah, of course they're gonna. I was just surprised how quickly they decided. It had been 26 minutes. They were like, enough of this shit.
Like they didn't try to spike strip him or nothing. There's
I,
like no need.
I think they
Pop,
might
pop.
have. I think they
I don't
might
know.
have, but like after one attempt of each thing failed, they were done. Like what's crazy is like in all the other states, they try multiple things. Like they try spike strips multiple times. Like they do all of that a lot to try to get them to stop. This state was like, no, we're done with that.
Like you'll just die.
Yeah.
Yeah, like bring the guns out
Yeah.
immediately.
And when they interviewed the cop who was telling the story, he was like, it's really unfortunate that this guy decided to take the measures that he did to try to escape police, and maybe he would. I don't think he said maybe he would still be walking, but he said something.
Oh my god.
He said something to that effect, like, it didn't have to turn out this way if he had complied with orders. And I was like, well, shit. And like, I couldn't even be mad. I was just like, why are you driving a U? Like, why are you running away from the cops in a U-Haul? What are you doing? What are you thinking? So yeah, it
Holy
was it
shit.
was wild. It's just so funny to me that there's so like there's and that's what made me think I don't know if it's the case in all states because it seems like depending on the state how they treat your I don't know how they treat you as a criminal is completely different. So yeah,
Hmm.
just something I learned from watching cop cams
Yeah, that cop cam.
on
That's hilarious.
HBO.
Police action.
Yeah, police live action HBO. And he also got like a hefty sentence. I think he got like 20 years. He got more years than the guy than a guy I saw earlier who held someone hostage at knife point in a different state.
You just try to get
Yeah.
away with in a U-Haul.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it was like one of those states that does not fuck around with the death penalty either. It was like Florida or some shit. Like if there's one thing you should know about states like that if you visit. Don't get into any trouble. Don't be fucking around in Florida, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You-
like you're dead.
yeah, because you could be dead or paralyzed.
So ruthless.
Yeah, ruthless. But anywho, I think that's a good place to stop. Paralyzed. Yeah, are you paralyzed yet by fear? Don't be. Just don't do anything stupid. Don't be the 90-year-old trying to steal people's wallets.
Yeah. Just stay
You can't
walking.
touch me.
Yeah, you can't touch me. Yeah, like can you imagine like you're the guy like you're like the guy with the fishing pole. You gotta be quicker than that.
Possession now. You can't take it back.
Yeah, gotta be quicker than that.
It's the law.
Yeah, crazy. Well, thank you, gentlemen, for the fine conversation, as always. We'll be back when we're back, and you'll find out because it'll say we're back. So, yeah, there you go. Summer 2024. That's how we're playing it. Hey,
That's right.
yeah, inconsistent, just like a criminal. We'll see you
That's
guys
right.
next time.